cabin's so dark I have to use an auxiliary light for you to be able to see me here, but anyway. So tonight I made myself American chop suey. I'm still trying to perfect that recipe. This one looks really good. Let's see if it tastes really good. Once we get the recipe down the way I want it, we'll show you guys how I make it. Now let's try it out. Hot. Oh my god. I think I got it. I think I got it. This is definitely the best American chop suey I've ever made. Or depending which part of the country you're in, American goulash. Oh. Alright. There'll be a video coming up at some point on how to make this. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my dinner and watch some YouTube, and we'll catch up with you guys later. Thought I'd spend, let's see, what is it now? It's probably, yeah, it's 10:15. I figured I'd spend this evening a little time showing you around the cabin and talk about a few different things going on and things like that. So yeah, this is my heat source of the cabin. What is it right now? It's 25 degrees outside, but it's about 70 degrees or almost 70 degrees in here with the wood stove going. This is a neat little wood stove because it's got a fan. It's got 2 speeds. I got it on the low speed now. This is the high speed. Gets kind of noisy, but it does blow more heat. But yeah, pulls the air in from down here, pushes it out there, pulls it all around the firebox, and you get all that nice warm air coming out of it. So this is what I got, and then my little teapot is sitting on top of that. This doesn't have the full cooking surface like I'm used to working with on a lot of my stoves. Let me shut that other radio down a bit here. Sorry about that, some ham radio stuff. We'll get into that in a little bit in this video. But yeah, this has been a nice little stove. I've been keeping it running pretty much constantly while I've been here because it's kind of chilly. It's going to get really chilly tonight too, so probably going to get down into the teens tonight, so we're going to need this wood stove going. Gone through a lot of bundles of firewood too to make this happen too, so spending a small fortune on firewood here. But it's nice here. This is a nice little setup with the fireplace and everything. So this is kind of what I'm calling the workstation over here that I brought along with me. And the table is part of the cabin. It was actually positioned this way, so I'll have to turn it back before I leave. And it's supposed to be the kitchen table. He had all these chairs sitting around it and stuff, but I took it over and turned it into a desk. You can see I got a little carried away with bringing toys with me this time. So over here I got my MacBook Pro. This is what I've been doing all my video productions, things like that. Plus I do all photo editing. I've got iMovie for video editing on here. I got Photoshop and Lightroom for my photo stuff. And then it's just my general everyday use computer too, and things like that. So I got this nice little Dell here, and I'm learning a new video editing suite. This is Vegas Pro. I'm going to be switching my YouTube channel over to Vegas Pro. In fact, this video you're watching has probably been edited on Vegas Pro. Right now, this is just some clips I had loaded in to do some random testing on it, just to see if it worked. But it does, and I'm still learning it. I got a ways to go yet, but it's a kind of a neat little program, and it's a lot more capable than iMovie is, so I got it a good deal on Black Friday sale, so I wanted to move on to a little bit more of a professional level editing suite, so a bit of a learning curve, total change in my workflow, but it'll be worth it in the end. And I've got my tablet over here, my old iPad. Here I do all my YouTube watching on it. So that laptop's driving this monitor over here. It's much better in a dual screen format like that. And as you've heard, we've got some radio equipment going here. This is a digital ham radio net that's connected up over the internet. And you can set up radios there and repeaters and things like that, and you can talk to people all over the world. So it's kind of a neat capability here to be able to just pick up the microphone here, wherever it went. Oh, here it is. Microphone attached to that radio, and I can talk to somebody on the other side of the planet. This other radio, it's underneath, that's a Yaesu FT991. Again, for those who are not into ham radio there, that's a shortwave capable radio that runs up to 100 watts of power output. And that's set up to an antenna. I've got the wire strung outside and it's connected to an antenna. But we got that all set up, and I can talk to people around the world on that too, just using the RF, not using the internet at all. So that's also pretty neat. I've got my antique iPod that you've seen in earlier YouTube videos. I've had it with me for years, attached to these speakers out here, so I get some music. Right now the iPad has got the speakers for watching YouTube on it. So that's like my mobile workstation. I got my camera here. I've been doing some photos, things like that. So, and yeah, I'm only here for 4 nights, and I set all this up. I'm nuts. I know. Above all that stuff there, I've got my weather station all set up here. See, 25 degrees out there. 70 in the cabin though with the fireplace going, so it's not bad inside. The actual weather station itself is actually sitting on top of Wolf Van Jack, which is parked out in the driveway at this cabin. So I'm just using my same mount that I would use if I was in this van someplace. So in between the corner, between the fireplace and the little workstation I've set up, I've got a few other little things here. I got my fridge. This is part of a series of things I forgot on this trip. I managed to get the power supply to power the fridge. So the fridge is actually plugged into the power supply that's running all my ham radio equipment, which happens to also be 12 volts. So same voltage there, so the fridge is running fine on that. I've got one of my water bottles here with a little bit of water in it. Got my portable chemical toilet, because there's no facilities in these cabins. It's either I use this or I go across the street outside to the public bathhouse where there's one toilet to be shared between all, at least in the men's room. I don't know what's in the ladies' room, but in the men's room there's one toilet to be shared between all 6 cabins, so I'll use my own. It's the same one that's in my van I use all the time. Alright, on this side the cabin's got 2 beds, or 3 beds actually. You got a twin-size bed over there, and you got a twin-size bunk bed set up over here. And yes, I'm using the upper bunk. Obviously, I'm just using this bed for storage, and the lower bunk is for storage as well. But I'm sleeping up there. It's a little warmer up there, and I like sleeping up in those places. What can I say? If I had the cabin 5 that I wanted, I would have had that cool loft to sleep in, and I would have been thrilled. But this is the cabin I got. I actually had the cabin number 5 reserved for last week, but I had a little bit of a scheduling conflict. By luck, somebody canceled on cabin 1 the following week, so I canceled 5, booked 1 instead. Well, a week later. Not the cabin I wanted, but it's nice. It works. I've been having some fun out here. Sorry, my last video there I did a 7-mile hike, so 7-mile winter hike. That was fun. So, and there's one more bed. Behind this door is the second bedroom in the cabin. There's no latch on the door, and I'm just keeping it shut because I'm not using the room. So I don't want to really waste the heating the room either. Yeah, it's a really small, tiny room with just big enough for this full-size bed in it. I'm kind of using a little bit of storage stuff, some extra cables that I didn't need. A couple more of the chairs from the kitchen table set up there, and that's it here. And this is the path I'm using to get out the window to hook my antennas and stuff up, because there was a weak point in the screen right there that I could utilize without damaging anything. So that's my path to get the wires outside. That's it. That's all this bedroom has in it, and of course it's got a light. Alright, so this is the door outside. I got a blanket in front of it to help keep some of the draft down, but this just goes out to the porch area. See, I left the light on too. That's where the antenna is and everything out there, but it's too cold. I'm not going out there tonight. 25 degrees. 71 on here now. I'm now probably going to go back down to 70 because I opened the door. And I've got storage, things all over the place, backpacks, bins, all that stuff. But this box here is the firewood box. They actually put 4 bundles of firewood in here for you to use. Of course, you have to pay for them if you use them, but 4 bundles here. I've bought more already. I bought it, oh boy, 8 more bundles, and I've burned through most of them already, and I still got 1 more day here. It takes a lot of firewood to heat this cabin. So through this doorway is one of the coolest parts of this cabin, though. It's kind of like the little kitchen. I didn't expect that when I reserved this cabin, to get a little kitchen in here, but it's pretty neat. Alright, we're going to switch to handheld here for this part of it here, because there's just not enough room for me to stand in front of the camera here. So we got my the counter space over here. Been mainly cooking on my induction cooktop here. We got AC in this cabin here. In fact, we've got a full breaker panel back here. We got a broken breaker panel. We got 50 amp service right there, and 20 amp goes directly to that plug. So I got plenty of power to power that. Brought the electric coffee maker, water for it, things like that. Over here, I actually set up my sink counter from my van setup. So I got my sink and everything. This is a new addition. It's not actually part of this. This is something I got for Christmas though. So obviously it's kind of loose on this thing. But I've got it underneath here. I got one of my other water tanks right here sitting on top of a stool. There's a drain tank. And yeah, this is pretty neat. I got running water. That's going to be installed in the van at some point. Not the whole table, just the faucet. I'm going to build my better kitchen counter there. I'm going to get just a sink bowl and mount that on the back of it with the water tank. I'm going to have to get a longer hose because the hose isn't long enough to reach to the bottom of the water tank here now. So that's going to shut off on me at some point when it can't reach the water anymore. So I'll have to get a longer hose for it, but we'll set that up there, and I'll put an insert so it won't be loose like this. It'll fit down on top of it. Come winter time, when I need to winterize the van and I need to keep everything from freezing up, I can just grab that and bring it in. And it's USB rechargeable, so it'll work. It doesn't even have to be wired into the electrical system. Got some cabinets up here, which I'm just using for storing the dishes and stuff. Seems to be fairly mouse resistant. So also soaps. I got my coffee and sugar up here, utensils, and extra egg holders. Weird things like my contact lens case, but I didn't want to lose it. Kept it safe up there. And Grundig radio that comes with me. I also set up the portable radiator, the oil-filled radiator that's usually I'll load into the van when I'm going someplace where I have electricity. Because, well, I have electricity. Another neat little bit of history in this cabinet here, or cabin. One point in time, they actually had water in a sink. Unfortunately, long since been taken out. I wish it was still here. That would have been useful. But I've got my own sink, so